Yeah, so let's dive into the topics for today. Today we'll be covering a range of new features which will be coming up, but also we're discussing a few which already have been released in the last months. I will also try to address them according to expected delivery times, so that you are aware when you can expect the new features to be released. So hopefully it will be a very interesting webinar for you all. So let's start with the first topic for today, which is our advanced analytics feature. So as most of you will know who are customers of ours, we already provide a analytics feature in our current solution, which gives information regarding occupancy data of the resources used in the GoPride solution. So trying to analyze how much the resources are being used to actually generate information on the usage of your office space, the meeting rooms, the desks, the parking spaces, and of course trying to adjust the office space accordingly. We have various dashboards there, so occupancy, occupancy top 10, no-show lists, booking history, and that's of course for the current solution available. A few years ago, we have introduced actually API integrations to that to give our customers more flexibility in extracting the data from our solution to make your own dashboarding in some other analyzing tools such as Power BI, where we also have an integration with. However, these API connections and the Power BI solution are a little bit too complicated for some of our customers, or could result in a lot of work for internal staff to get all the dashboards done. Therefore, we have had a lot of requests the last few years to actually have a middle ground between the Power BI extension and our analytics as we have it now. So therefore, we are now working on the advanced analytics. We actually started already with this last year. We actually hired someone specifically for this project. And even some of you who are joining today have participated into the user group sessions, where we try to get as much feedback as possible on how to improve our analytics to get the best results for you as our customers. So advanced analytics has been worked on actively. The advanced analytics is a new product in our solution. So the current analytics will stay as it is, but we will add a new analytics solution to this. The new advanced analytics will include several dashboards within the first release. So that's workspace overview, room analysis, desk analysis, and parking analysis. In the current analytics, this is all combined in one dashboard, or split out into two parts of our system. And most of the feedback was that sometimes to get the right information in the current analytics, you had to combine some dashboards together or some filterings, whereas now in the new advanced analytics, we try to make that more efficient to show that in one dashboard, as you will see in the next 2 pages, to give you a more clear overview of what is happening in the office, but also extending it with more information than we currently have. The new dashboards, as mentioned, have more detailed analysis, but also we are looking into forecasting so that you can also actually see on the data which has been gathered in the past to see how will the office behave as analyzed from the past data in the future, so that you can actually make decisions on that data as well. And we will actually add in the future some other dashboards because the workspace overview, room analysis, desk analysis, of course, more according to your facilities, how much is being used, what is actually being used. But behavior is also a very important topic nowadays. So how do my users actually come to the office? When do they come to the office? And what is their behavior when they go to the office? So for example, how much time in advance do they decide to go to the office, or do they actually decide to book on the day itself, or only have ad hoc bookings? For example, which teams are in which areas, or which teams come to the office most often. So you can also actually not only see what is being used and how much it's being used, but also how your users utilize the office within their behavior, as mentioned. And then adding services. So we have a catering module with a combination with our room bookings, also being able to see analysis on that. And our issue reporting, issue handling. So that's a new feature from the beginning of this year, which I will also show you later in this webinar with a live demo. And there, of course, it's also then possible to analyze what amenities or what parts of the system are being reported, mostly on to improve the efficiency on the usage of all the facilities in the building. So here, for example, we have an overview of what the advanced analytics could look like. So here we have the workplace overview. So this is a little bit compared to what we now have as the occupancy dashboard. So above you see a trend line of the booking occupancy of the office space. And that's of course what we provide already as well on the current analytics. But as you can see below that, we already have a table where we can actually see the more detailed information on the bookings, on the no-show. So not only the percentage as we have now in the current analytics, but also absolute numbers to actually get a more clear overview of how much bookings there are made or how many no-shows there actually are compared to the percentage. Then on this dashboard, we also will now include occupancy per day. So that's actually not in the current analytics already. So seeing what the most busy days are within the office compared for bookings, but also if you have centers, of course, also the sensor occupancy, and then actually a occupancy per hour per day, which we can also already provide in the current analytics tool. Then our next upcoming feature, which is also currently worked on, is our new mapping. So we have our mapping solution, of course, already for quite some time, including the map viewer, which is the external screen you see here on the display, which can be utilized by users of the building to actually book desks, find colleagues, or book rooms or parkings whatsoever. The last years, we actually gathered feedback on how the mapping is being used and what its purpose is for our users. So the mapping is a clear visual overview of what a user can expect from that floor building. So which resources are available, where are my colleagues sitting, which desks or rooms can I book. So it should provide the user a clear and efficient overview of what's happening in the office space. So we have looked at our current mapping solution and looked what can we improve to actually make that process or that experience even better for our users. So things which we are actually addressing and including now is that you, for example, can add room names to the mapping so that people have a quick overview of which meeting rooms are, so it can function more as a wayfinder in that regard, but also include initials of your users on top of the mapping so that you can see where each colleague is sitting without having to search for them or having to hover over each resource. And actually also being able to provide a text layer to show where each area is so people can navigate there more quickly. So for example, if you have a marketing department, you can put a text field of marketing department in the left below corner so people are aware that that is the marketing department, for example. So those are all upcoming additions to the mapping, which is then included in the map viewer, but also of course in the portal and in the mobile application. And besides that, we will actually also release a new visual for the map viewer as we are giving that an update as well. So all the features are included in your current mapping licenses, and the map viewer update will of course be a second layout compared to the current one. So if you like the current one better, then you are still free to use that one. Two features for the new mapping are already released. So we have included non-interactive icons to the map. So previously you were only able to add the icons to the map which were interactable for the user, so the desk, the rooms, and the parking spots. But now we actually also included the non-interactive icons, which are things like elevators, stairs, emergency exits, which then of course makes you as a customer more flexible in adjusting the mapping on your own without having to contact your reseller or us as GoBrite to adjust the floor plan for you. So that just gives you much more freedom in adjusting the mapping accordingly. And we have added a legend for the accessibility icons as that will help people with a disability navigate better to the right resources they are requesting. So this is a brief overview of how it would look like. So as you can see the room names more clearly. The initials of the users are very visible to navigate to your right colleague if you want to work with them, and also the text fields of the departments or areas are visible as well. And of course, a new addition is that you can clearly see compared to the current mapping is that you can also now add the rooms as a whole color scheme, so to say, instead of having a table in it. So it will give a more clear overview of if the room is available, yes or no. Then moving on to a next solution which we already provide. So we have a Wayfinder solution, but this is also getting a new version. So also for the wayfinding, we have gathered feedback the last few years on how we can improve this solution to give the user more value. So the Wayfinder is being used in combination with our room booking solution, where users can then navigate to the right meeting room, but also have a clear and quick overview of which meeting rooms are free or occupied. So if, for example, you need an ad hoc room and you walk through the office space, you can quickly look at the mapping and quickly navigate to the rooms which are available for you to utilize. But certain things were sometimes a little bit not there yet or were missing. So for example, if you are walking past the wayfinding and you had to walk still a few minutes to the meeting room, it was good for users to then actually book it quickly as well to know for sure that that meeting room is still available for you to use. So therefore we have added a QR code which can be scanned to directly book in the mobile app when you're at the wayfinding. We also have added the amount of desks which are available on that floor to also give that information to the user so that they can clearly see if there's space to work. We've added the distance to the room so people know how far it is from that wayfinding point. And also you can customize it more to add your own logo in the left top corner where you now see the Go Bright logo. So this Wayfinder is not yet worked on, so that will be more at the second half of this year, as the mapping previously is already worked on. So we expect that more in the summertime as the analytics as well. So here you can see a clear overview of how the wayfinding would work. This will also be included in your current licensing, so it will just be a new layout which you can choose from. We also have this in the white color scheme as we have the current wayfinding. So as a customer, you're able to choose how you want to visualize this with the color schemes available. Then a feature which has actually been released in April. This is more of a technical feature, but this is actually SCIM, which is an extension on the Enter ID user management. So currently we had the solution to have a PowerShell script running on a runbook or a local server to synchronize the users or even upload a CSV file or even do it manually. Well, CSV and manual is of course not an automated process, so that is manual labor, and the PowerShell script is of course a maintenance job and is something which needs to be set up. And it had a downside that it could only synchronize twice a day. So therefore, if users were added during the day, they had to wait until the sync would run again. So therefore, we added the SCIM synchronization protocol, and that's a very efficient process. It's a direct connection between us and Enter ID, so it makes for a much smoother transition of the information. So also the synchronization is actually done between every 20 and 40 minutes. So updates are being provisioned much faster, and not the whole user list has to be synchronized anymore. So only the updated ones are synchronized, which of course makes for a smoother processing as well. And with this, the user role mapping is included, of course, just as with the PowerShell script, but also we've added department information, which can be used for our team booking functionalities or for a week planner functionality to actually have the department synced from the Enter ID so that users are in the right groups already from the current user list. And we're now working on adding the user photo as well. Of course, department and user photo are optional to synchronize for each customer. So if you do not want to utilize this, then you do not have to. But of course, it could make for a better experience for the users to not see the initials, for example, the mapping, but see the user photo to even more quickly see who is sitting where. So these are additions which are already there, but the user photo will follow in the next few weeks. Then moving forward to the Interact. So the Interact is our new hardware which has been released last year, and it's a device which is new or the next one compared to the Connect. However, the Interact has the benefit that it also has a touchscreen, so it has visual information of the resource, of the booking, and can actually be interacted via touch display, and therefore can be utilized as a room display or as a desk device. So for both situations, the Interact can be utilized. It's of course a device which can be installed also in various manners. So you can install it under the desk, on top of the desk, and on top of the wall or glass. It doesn't matter what scenario it is. And it gives not only benefit that you can see information, but it also includes an internal sensor. So in some situations, you can utilize the Interact also as a sensor. So therefore, you do not need external hardware then again to get the occupancy data compared to the booking information, which is of course a big benefit compared to other solutions. The Interact also communicates to the desks as you are used to from our Connect as well. So with the Connect, we had integration with the accentuators from Linac or the control box from Linac. For the Interact, we also include Yichang and Logic Data to be more expensive to extend it more to a wider range of desks which are utilized by our customers. And Logic Data and Yichang are still in development, but we expect to deliver this in the summertime. So that's also just a few months away. For the room booking, we know from experience that PoE is a very requested way of working or installing the hardware. So therefore, we also have an expansion box which can be utilized to include PoE connection to the Interact to make the installation for the rooms even more efficient. So here's a little bit of a roadmap of the hardware extensions for the Interact. So we also have a Glow for the Interact, which is already available. The expansion box is also available for PoE or the desk connection to the Interact. Then we have coming up in the next months the internal sensor and the Logic Data and Yichang cable, and then the external sensor for the Interact will also be there. So the difference between the external and internal sensor is that the internal sensor detects occupancy on vibration, which could be in some scenarios not the right measurement tool, as it could cause for false data because, for example, desks are connected to one another if they're linked with the same bars, for example, or whatsoever. So sometimes the internal sensor could not be the right solution. Therefore, we will also include an external sensor, which could actually also be utilized more in environments such as a phone booth and those kind of scenarios. Then moving on to issue reporting, this has been released at the beginning of this year and is our first major release of this year. What we saw from COVID and the hybrid way of working is that people did not have their own fixed desk anymore in the office environment, which meant that people utilized different desks during the week. When people had their own fixed desk, they were responsible also for the facilities connected to that desk. So the dual screens, the keyboards, the mouse, everything revolving around your desk was also your responsibility to notify if things didn't work, because if that didn't work, then of course it impacted your workday. So you were eager to actually fix that problem. However, we see with a lot of our customers that now after COVID with the flexible working, that if things are not working correctly at the desk or in a meeting room, people quickly decide to move to another desk or to another room, or actually fix the problem by, if a keyboard is missing from a desk, that they just take the keyboard from the desk next to it and actually making the problem to another desk. This will cause frustration with the other users, which will then utilize the resource after them, which is of course not a huge benefit. It's of course distracting, it's frustrating, it will make people less likely to go to the office because they will think, okay, at home I know that everything works correctly, so here I can actually have a productive working day. But if I go to the office, it could be that I have an hour of getting everything working or making sure that I can actually work properly, which is of course not the experience you want as a facility manager, which users have. So therefore we have introduced issue reporting. It's something which we already had for our room booking for quite some time. So on the meeting room display, you could already report issues which had to do with the facilities in the meeting room. But now we've actually extended that feature also to desks and to parkings, but also extended it into the portal and the mobile app that users can efficiently report the issues. So as you can see on the right side here, you already see the desk name. The desk is of course already connected to a location by the way you set it up in our system. And then you can choose between an amenity or an environment, and then of course choose what subject is connected to the problem. And therefore, the person who gets this issue report will already have all the information needed to fix the problem accordingly. I will quickly show you how it works in our solution. So it's a quick live demo. So here we are in our web portal. So it doesn't matter if you're in a Teams environment, Outlook environment, in our web app, or in the mobile application. The user experience stays the same. So if I am here and I want to notify, for example, something which is not working on desk 11, I can click on the desk and then there will be a report issue button, which will then give me the option to notify on amenity or environment. And then of course the subjects regarding the amenities or environment are there, and they are linked to the desk or the room or the parking. And these are all customizable for you as a customer. So doesn't matter if you have specific things in the office, you can add that to the system and people can notify this as well. When this report is done, it will be sent just as we have it in catering. You can set up issue handlers. So who's responsible for what amenities or what environments or what locations or what resources, so that the right reports go to the right people instead of having to dig through the whole list. Besides the issue reports being made, we also have an issue handling page where you can see all the issues coming in and actually handle them accordingly. So that's how the issue reporting works. If you have any questions regarding this, it's already available. It's included in the room, desk, or parking license, so it's not an additional product. So if you need help setting it up, please contact our support at gobright.com to get the right information to set this up correctly. Then a brief update on our hardware partners. So we have added Sony as an official GoBright certified hardware partner for our digital signage solutions. So now for all our resellers or customers, if you have Sony or if you're thinking about using Sony, we have on our certified hardware page on our support.gobright.com page the list of which devices of Sony are certified. So yeah, for the digital signage, which is the Bravia line. And of course, a much requested feature is the support for Android 12 for the Android displays. So ProDivX IADIA are now being certified. So that is the certification will be done yeah, this week. So yeah, those can be utilized with the GoBright solution in the way you expect it to work. And then last but not least, it's our Microsoft extensions. So as you all know, we of course have a quite close collaboration with Microsoft. We have worked on a lot of tools in the past few years to integrate it more and more. So for example, our Teams app, our Outlook application, we have of course the room synchronization. We are able to add the Teams link when making a room booking. We have the Power BI integration. But as we know, there are even more requests from our customers, so we are going to extend that even more. So we are also going to work on integrating the desks, so that of course also that can be then booked via Microsoft or via Outlook to make that process for the users even more efficient. Also, reoccurring bookings in GoBright in combination with Outlook will be worked on, will be delivered, so that it doesn't matter in which system you work, Outlook or GoBright, everything works the same on the reoccurring bookings. We also want to actually include booking on behalf for rooms, and then of course also desks when they're integrated, so that if you're in GoBright, you can also book a room or a desk for someone else when it's integrated with Outlook. And then a very hot topic at this moment is of course Copilot AI. We are also looking into integrating with that to make sure that the user experience can be optimized by interacting with the Copilot solution to also get access to GoBright resources or information from the GoBright system. Yeah, the Microsoft extensions are planned in the second half of the year, so we expect to deliver most of them in Q4. But of course, in the next webinar in September, I believe more detailed information can be shared as well. Yeah, thank you very much for all your attendance and all your interest in our solutions. We are happy that you're all here and that we can share all these solutions and features with you. And hopefully you will join us as well in September for a further update on our progress and all our new features which have been released in the meantime, so that we can demo them to you, show you how it works, but also give you again information on the upcoming updates to make sure you're all aligned with us and that we can together move forward to a good collaboration. Thank you very much.